You've tamed the voices in your head. You've put your courage to the test. Laid all your doubts to rest.
And welcome from your Intuition Queen to a new episode of Intuitive Queens podcast. If you're new to the podcast, welcome. If you're a returning listener, welcome. I'm happy that you're here, and please do not forget to subscribe, to share this episode if it resonates with you. All right, so something that I haven't done properly is talking about colors. And as you know, I am a color therapy specialist. I do color therapy readings, and I also do Reiki. So it's about time that I talk to you about colors in more details. So from today, it's starting my series of colors. So every episode I will be talking about one specific color and what they mean, both in color therapy and Reiki, how you can use them, and give you tips towards the end of the episode. All right, so today we're talking about red. And red in color therapy and in Reiki, what it means if you have it in your color chart during a color therapy session, and what it means if it comes up in your energy field. In color therapy, red is the color associated with leadership. It's leadership with action, with being a groundbreaker, a pioneer, someone that is innovative and does a lot of things. Someone that can see ahead and is a little bit of a visionary and loves to achieve goals. For this reason, though, it tends to be a very masculine energy, and someone with this energy in their color chart might be someone that really does a lot of things. But this energy can have a tendency to overdo and therefore to burn out, and also has a tendency to negative thinking, because when you're not able maybe to achieve your goals, or when you have a plan and you can't put the plan in action, this is when this energy can be a little bit tricky. So if you have it in your chart and you have this energy, you just have to learn to pace yourself a little bit more. It depends in which position you have it, and it depends also on the topic you want to work with if you're coming for a color therapy session. This energy, it's great if you want to move forward, if you have goals that you want to achieve, because you're moving forward energy and it's very active. So if you're leading a team, this can be great, but you need to be careful on the expectations that you set on others, and make sure that you balance your work with your life and vice versa. Because this is a masculine energy, if your color chart is predominantly masculine, you really need to pay attention to this energy, because it can drive you to burn out and to feeling exhausted and maybe being too much. If you have a balance with some feminine energy, this is a perfect energy, as long as you remember to stay in a balance, in the balanced part of this energy. When red appears in your energy field, and what do I mean by this? When I do color therapy sessions, I am able to tell you what are the color of your color chart, and that's done by using your date of birth. But also I tune into your energy, and so in explaining how your colors can help you in whatever it is that you want to work when you are having a session with me, then if there is anything in your energy field that wants to come out, I will see and feel a color. And that doesn't necessarily mean it's a color in your color chart. Oftentimes it's a color that is not in your color chart, but there is a meaning for it. And for me, receiving the color means that there is something that we need to talk about. And so I will tune into that and then explain to you what it means for you at that point in time while we're having a session, talking about the specific topic that you wanted to talk about when you sign up to do a session with me. So if energy pops up in your energy field when we're having a reading, it can mean a few things. One is that maybe you grew up in an extremely religious family, and then you drifted apart, but you're not able to find your own way to have faith in something. Doesn't necessarily need to be another religion, but somehow finding a source that kind of helps you when you need it or when you feel alone. Could be angels, could be fairies, could be just talking about a general universe without having to pinpoint a specific god or anything. When people that drift apart from religion after having been in an extremely strong religious environment and don't find their own way into spirituality, somehow red can come through, because there is a disconnection between your higher self and yourself. And so that needs to kind of you have to find your way to find roots in believing that there is a higher power that is there to help you. It can also mean that you're extremely tired, maybe you just overworked, or maybe just something happened to you and you just have to take some time off for you. It can also mean that you're bored, intellectually bored and mentally bored, which often can happen to people retiring, or to women that leave an extremely successful career to take care of their family and have kids, and they might not be mentally stimulated like they used to, and that could pop up in the energy field, because you actually need to stimulate your mind in a different way, because otherwise that will create some other issues. This also means, like, if it pops up in your energy field, it also means there's a lack of emotional energy, and this could be because of trauma, or because maybe there is a person in your life that drains your energy. So if you have some energy vampire, this could be one of the reasons why, because it's a very energetic color, and when this color pops up, it's because there's normally something that you need to look at, and therefore then it will come up with a negative connotation. And also red can also appear in your energy field when there are physical issues from the base of the spine to your feet, because that's also in Reiki related to your origins and to you grounding yourself and to setting your roots. And so we will need to look at that. So since I've started to receive Reiki, because I'm a Reiki level 2, I also started to study Reiki, and I could see the correlation of some of the things. It's not necessarily they're all correlated, but there are a lot of things that are similar. And so I want to talk to you about what the color red means in Reiki, because I normally integrate both of those practices when I'm having sessions with my clients, because they're very relevant. And because we are all made of energy, those two explanations of the energy of the color are so good together, because they kind of complement each other, and they can give a wider perspective on what's going on. So I like to use them both because it just gives you more information about whatever is coming through. In Reiki, red is associated with the root chakra, which is the base of your spine. And it's related to your origins, your family, or the people you grew up with, if you didn't grow up with a family. So this chakra is really, really important, because if it's balanced, it helps us to feel grounded, because it's related to everything that comes from our origin. So where we come from, really. So which family, what kind of environment, all of that things. And so this is also where our beliefs and limiting beliefs are held. And this is how the power of our family and our environment can make us feel grounded and structured, or ungrounded and unstructured. It depends from personal situation. And this is also where your identity is formed. It's where you learn honesty and loyalty, justice, bonding in a relationship. It's how you learn to love. And it's the base of your spine is the base of your power and your foundation. So depending on how you grew up, that says a lot about how you're going to live your life, and how you're going to be in relationships, how it's going to be your relationship with money, with power, and a lot of other things. As I said, it depends on which family you grew up in. If you grew up in a dysfunctional family, all of this important manifestation of self are going to be distorted. And so this is the reason why it will be crucial for you to do inner child healing and inner work in general, because you are going to have a very different perspective of love, power, money, and everything that gives us survival, like everything. So in working with other people, I've noticed that even if you think that you have come from a normal family where there was nothing wrong and everybody was super loving and everything was fine, we still hold wounds. We still hold limiting beliefs. And so you just have to look at the way you, what kind of relationship you have with yourself, with your family, with love, with other kind of relationships, with money, with power, to really understand your situation. Obviously, if you grew up in a family that didn't love you or didn't accept you or things like that, this is going to be more visible for you. You probably already know it, and it's going to be crucial for you to do inner work. I think, and I suggest to everybody to do inner work, because it just frees you up from things that you probably don't even know about, but that are blocking you in your life. So one of the ways I tell my clients to use colors is to either wear them, to eat them, to surround themselves with that particular color that they need. Now, since red is a very stimulating color, it's very energetic, and it's also associated with a lot of topics that, for which many people have wins around, it can be triggering. So if you are around red and you start to feel too overwhelmed, you start to feel angry, you start to feel too charged emotionally or energetically, it means that there is something there. You might not know what that is, but there is something related to all the survival mechanisms that are probably kind of being triggered at that point in time. So if you hate red, for example, there is a reason for that. And I would suggest to dig deeper, because that's it's a kind of like a way for the universe to tell you, hey, there is something that you need to look at. Maybe you just never thought about it, but I would suggest you do. If you have physical pain from the spine below, also again, try to imagine yourself in a red light, or wear something red and see how you feel, because again, those parts of yourself are being triggered, and red is very triggering as a color for a lot of us. If you're feeling too agitated, too angry, too anxious, there are core wounds that need to be resolved, and you might not know what that is about. And if that's the case, you can always get in touch with me and ask me questions. I'm here for that, and I love doing this. Right. So the way I normally work with my clients, it's either through a color therapy session, and you can come and have a color therapy session in many times. The first time will be when we actually figure out what are your colors, but then we will just be using those colors every time you come back, and I will still get in tune with your energy to see what your energy field wants to say. I do healing sessions, so if you go to my website, theintuitionqueen.com, and you go into intuitive sessions, you can have healing session, because I do Reiki and I use a lot of other different techniques, and you just have to tell me what's going on, what is it that you want to work on, and we can figure that out. And for some other that don't want to start to go that deep, you can also have a card reading. You can choose between a 30 minutes or an hour session. The card reading, because I also use color cards and a lot of different cards, can actually help you to understand a little bit better the situation and give you hints on what is it that you could possibly do. And then if you want, you can do a more healing session if that's what you're looking for. And for the people that want to work with me for a longer period of time, I have a program that is called Discover Your True Colors, and we can talk about how this will pan out for you based on what is it that you want to work on. But there is a lot of emotional and energetic healing in this program, because I feel this is crucial for every one of us. And I like to work on the specific issue and see how other things are adjusting. And I'm there for you. I will always be there along the way, so you're not alone. But the transformation of this program is just extremely, extremely amazing. So you can book a complimentary call. If you're not sure what to do, just go to my website and it's all there. And you can see all the links in the show notes, so that will be easy. All right, so I think I told you enough, but if you have any questions, if listening to this episode has brought you questions, feel free to let me know. I'd be happy to hear from you. Just message me at hello@theintuitionqueen.com, and I will respond to you. But before I close this, I want to leave you with a couple of exercises to help you to understand your energies and your emotions better, so you can balance yourself up. Right, so talking about red, if you're experiencing some challenges and you have challenging emotions like overwhelm, you feel stuck and anxious and angry, just imagine yourself to be surrounded in a bubble of red light and see how you feel. If you feel overcharged or you feel the emotions are kind of dissipating, how do you feel? See what's going on. If you're feeling better, keep staying in the energy of red. If you're starting to feel more charged about it or discomfort, imagine the energy of white coming through and let the energy of red go. There is something that it's activating or whatever is going on with you. It's either emotion or energy, and it needs to be worked on. You can also use purple to balance your energy if red is overcharging you. The second thing is to journal, because maybe this episode or just doing a meditation about red is brought things up for you. And if it has, please do write it down, because they are really, really important. And it's going to give you a different perspective about maybe something you already know or something that you didn't know, because color activate us and they activate our subconscious. And so maybe you're not aware of what the colors are doing to you, but there is something there. And if you're not able to understand it, as I said, just send me an email and I'll be happy to let you know a little bit more about it, or pointing you in the right direction. All right, I think I talked about red enough today. Let me know what do you think, if anything has popped up, and if this episode has been helpful for you. Before I wrap up, I want to pull out cards just for the collective and to see what is the message that you guys need to hear in relation to the color red. Oh, okay, so we have Cat Spirit, Claim Your Independence. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can see there is quite a lot of orangey red. This cat is red. And it says, claim your independence. So obviously, red is the color of leadership and who is more independent than a leader. So yeah, well, the cat is red energy, because the cat is completely someone that it's an animal that just goes, it does their own thing. He's the leader of himself. He doesn't need anyone. Well, it does sometimes, but not all the time. So I think this card is perfect, and I just use the Spirit Animal Oracle of Colette Baron Reid if you are interested to know. All right. Well, thank you so much for listening, for watching. As I said, new colors are coming through. So next week there will be another color. Let me know what you think. Share this episode with people that might need to hear more about this. Subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to get in touch with me. You can either send me an email, hello@theintuitionqueen.com, go on my website, theintuitionqueen.com, or follow me on Instagram, The Intuition Queen. And if you want to join my Facebook group and join my community, just go to Facebook and type in Discover Your True Color. That's my Facebook group where I talk a little bit more about intuition, colors, emotional healing, energy healing, and a lot of other things. All right, thank you so much for watching and listening, and I'll just see you next week.
Your
Ciao.
future's at the door.